In today's video, Kevin Lee talks potential matchups in the UFC at 170, Daniel Cormier on whether Khabib's absence from Islam's corner will affect his performance at UFC 284, Dana White goes off on fans during recent Instagram live sesh, Islam Makhachev takes back his words about UFC 284 promotion, Dan Hooker out of UFC 285, and Robert Whittaker responds to Khamzat Chimaev's callout. It was recently announced that Kevin Lee has re-signed with UFC 1 year after being released from his contract. Now, in an interview on SiriusXM, Kevin discussed potential matchups at 170 and shared his list of dream fights he'd like to have. Here's the clip.
There's a couple, I've been kind of refraining from sticking with one person, tying myself with a fight. But there's a lot of dream fights that I've always wanted to have at 170. I think me and Masvidal have a lot of unfinished business. He had a lot to say when I fought Gregor Gillespie at Madison Square Garden. I feel like I outshined him on that card. I feel like we got some unfinished business. He got Gilbert Burns. He's gonna lose to Gilbert, and then who knows what's gonna happen after that. But there's a whole lot of fights. There's Kobe Covington, which would be a great fight. You see now Michael Chandler and Conor are fighting at 170. So who's to say if they stay, if they go, if they come, who's gonna follow behind them? I think a lot of things are going to start moving around in this next month or so, and especially around March. A lot of pieces are going to move, and then I'll kind of see where I fit in. The running joke in MMA is always, where do I fit into this? So I'm going to see where that goes.
Who would you guys like to see Kevin Lee fight in his UFC return? Let us know in the comments below. During a recent episode of the DC and RC show, Daniel Cormier discussed whether not having Khabib Nurmagomedov in Islam Makhachev's corner will affect his performance against Alexander Volkanovski at UFC 284. Here's what DC said.
RC, it's like Khabib was playing a video game. It was like he was explaining like he was holding the controller with Islam Makhachev as the character that he was using as he got that submission. But I think he's come to terms with it. I think Islam's come to terms with it. I haven't had an opportunity to ask him about it, but everything I see publicly, everything I see him say tells me that he's come to terms with, now I have to go and compete without my guy. And although it sucks, it does happen, right? We have been in situations before where we've had to go fight without each other, or you got to fight without this guy or this guy. It just kind of happens, and I believe that Islam has many great coaches. He's got many great training partners, people that are going to be there to support him, and he's going to need it because he's going into enemy territory to try and beat the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
During a recent Instagram live, Dana White received some criticism for driving while being live. Of course, in his style, the UFC boss clapped back at critics. White also announced that starting in March, fans will be able to bet on events and fights from the Power Slap League.
Twin Peaks, PT's Pubs, it's at Caesars, it's at all the MGM Barrage. They're all playing it. So live tonight. And you can now bet on Power Slap too. So not right now on the show, but when we do the live event in March, you'll be able to bet on that. Yes, I'm driving and live. I know some of you guys will be crying about that. Oh, he's driving and he's live and he doesn't have a seatbelt on either. Fucking boo-hoo. Get over it. We got here. Because I'm not driving, but I'm sure a bunch of you were at me last time. You guys are always trying to tell me what to do.
Islam Makhachev has taken back his words about lack of promotion for UFC 284. Last week, Makhachev was highly critical of the UFC for not promoting his super fight with Alexander Volkanovski. However, during Wednesday's media day, Makhachev said that he spoke with Dana White and the UFC president shut down his concerns about UFC 284 being poorly promoted.
There's been a lot of talk of the promotion of this fight online, whether there's not a lack of promotion or not enough promotion. Are you happy with how this fight has been promoted?
I say something in the media. This fight, not promotion, but Dana sent me message and show me all the rankings, all the, like, you know, all the stuff, how they promote, how they sell. Now I understand, because I don't follow this game, how they promote, what they did, but they promote a lot. That's why we don't have tickets. And then I say pay-per-view, it's high, you know, maybe like it's gonna be maybe number 2, 3.
Dan Hooker will not be fighting at UFC 285. Hooker was set to return on March 4th in Las Vegas at UFC 285 against Jalen Turner in a very fan-friendly scrap. However, on Wednesday, MMA Fighting reported that Hooker has suffered a broken hand and is out of his fight. The hope is to keep Turner on the card and have a replacement opponent found. Hooker later posted a photo on Instagram showing his hand in a cast as a result of the injury suffered in training. Khamzat Chimaev has recently come out and said he wants to fight Robert Whittaker in his return to middleweight. He believes it would be a fun fight for the fans, where the winner would also get the next title shot. Now, in an interview with Submission Radio, Whittaker responded to Chimaev's call out by saying, "Oh yeah, cool, let's do it, whatever. If it's a fight that gets presented to me, then it is what it is. Yeah, I think it'd be a good fight. I think he'd be a hard fight. I think he's a phenomenal fighter. I think he has a lot of strengths. I think I have a lot of strengths. I think I'm a hard fighter for him, just the same. And I'm quite good with my hands, can stuff a lot of takedowns. I'm hard to hold down. I'm squirmy, you see? Yeah, it'll be an interesting fight. That'll be a showstopper for sure. I'm sure it'll get a lot of people interested and excited." Whittaker has expressed curiosity about the matchup, but he feels it doesn't make much sense for him to accept it. His only motivation to take on Chimaev would be to disrupt the latter's reputation. He continued with, "The reason why it would be a fight that's worth making is because he's riding the hype train, and because UFC want to bring this guy, who's the boogeyman to a lot of guys, up in the rankings. They want him to fight me at the top of the chain so that it opens the door to whoever wins and then jump behind. That's the only reason it makes sense." What do you guys think about a potential confrontation between Khamzat and Whittaker? Please leave your opinion in the comment section. Here are the top 3 funniest memes we found on the internet. Third place was found over Twitter and was posted by a user named TheArtOfWar6. Second place was found over Reddit and was posted by a user named Sotiris Demi. And our top picked meme was found over Instagram and was posted by a user named Daily Dose MMA. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel to keep up with the latest MMA news.